Hey everyone, I'm Jared Allen Ortega coming to you from Off the Grid at the Cosmic Cloud Studios in Crestone, Colorado, where we get our energy from the sun and our Wi-Fi from the sky to bring you this podcast wherever you are. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about water, the great giver and taker of life, and how we can harness its power not only to survive, but thrive in an ever-changing climate crisis. I'll give you my best tips and tricks on how you can keep yourself and your family safe should the power and or water ever go out where you are. So let's get right into it. To give you an idea of how quickly the weather can change on you, these are time lapses I captured earlier this summer of 2021. Within a few short hours, you can see blue skies are quickly overtaken by a type of rainstorm known as a microburst. These microbursts are often accompanied by a wind and dust phenomenon known as a haboob, seen here. The amount of power within one of these storms is shocking. Much like a surprise hurricane, the wind, water, and lightning produced by these storms can be severely disastrous in a short amount of time. You can quickly find yourself in a raging flash flood while out on the road, or even have your home flooded and without power or water for days or even weeks. And of course, let's not forget about the Texas snowstorm of February 2021 that caught the entire state and their power grid by surprise. I had friends and family without power, water, and gas for weeks. With the climate crisis only getting worse, right now is the time to take steps to be prepared and to know what to do beforehand. The first and most important thing you can do for yourself is water storage. With a little bit of foresight and a couple of bucks, storing water will save your life in an emergency. I bought these water jugs from a camping section at a retail store for about $15 each. Prices vary depending on where you buy them, but $30 or $40 now on water storage is one of the easiest things you can do to ensure you and your family are safe during a natural disaster. Once you have a water jug or a couple of jugs, fill them up with clean water and stash them in a closet, ready to use when you need it. This method is much more reliable than filling your bathtub or melting snow for water, which a lot of people did as a last resort once the storm had already hit in Texas. Taking a few minutes of your time right now to fill some jugs and stash them in a closet could save you in that long run until the power and water are restored in your area. Sometimes storms can hit so quickly that you can even find yourself in a car or somewhere other than home when the extreme weather starts. For this reason, it's also important to have a jug of water stashed in your car at all times. Although having a plastic water jug in a hot car isn't the healthiest thing for you, it's better than having nothing at all in an emergency, especially if you filter it when you need it. More on that in a bit. The same way you keep a spare tire in the trunk of your car, you should also keep a spare jug of water back there as well. Again, I can't stress enough how simple and important having water storage is. Go out and get a few of these right now and fill them up if you don't already have some stashed away. Okay, so now that you have your water ready to go when you need it, great. Next, the most important thing about water is to filter it. During the Texas snowstorm, my friends in Austin were under a water boil alert for weeks. That meant any water that came from the tap had to be boiled to be considered safe to drink. The water treatment plants were knocked out by the snowstorm, and the water pumped into people's homes was full of dangerous bacteria and chemicals that could make people sick if ingested. Boiling water is fine as a last resort, but it does not guarantee you will have perfectly clean water. You can still have trace amounts of chemicals, heavy metals, and other toxins that don't boil off, but again, it's better than nothing. This is why water filtration is of paramount importance. Now, if you want to make sure you have perfectly clean, filtered drinking water with you at all times, you need one of these heavy-duty Berkey water filtration systems, made here in the USA by a company called New Millennium Concepts. These are much more advanced than your over-the-counter Brita filters. They are the best-in-class home water filtration systems out on the market right now, and they are much more expensive than your average home water filter. It's a sleek, stainless steel, black carbon filtration system with filters that can last you a decade or longer depending on use and upkeep. No electricity required, it's all gravity fed. They come in multiple sizes. This is my Berkey Royal Edition. It has up to 6 black carbon filters and 6 fluoride arsenic filters that you can install. These will remove 99% of all viruses, pathogens, bacteria, heavy metals, minerals, pharmaceuticals, and more. When full, it holds 5 gallons of the purest filtered water you can get on the planet. These filters are so good you can pour muddy water or even pee into them and get perfectly clean filtered water out on the other end. Now I should say I'm not sponsored by them, but I wish I was because this is my most prized piece of equipment in the household. And fun fact, It's the #1 preferred water filter of doomsday preppers. Like I said, these aren't cheap. The Berkey Royal Edition here is around $400, which comes with a lifetime warranty, plus another $200 for a 2-pack of filters, but it's worth every penny for that peace of mind that it provides. The more you clean the filters, the longer they'll last. Over the lifespan, it ultimately brings the price of filtered water down to about 2 cents a gallon. That's right, I said 2 cents a gallon of clean water. Think about all the times you bought a 16-ounce bottle of water for a couple of bucks out in the world. With a Berkey water filtration system, you'll never need to buy bottled water ever again, which cuts down on plastic in the environment as an added benefit. Of course, if you can't afford the more expensive systems up front, they come in several sizes and price points, the cheapest being this handy sports bottle with black carbon filters attached to the straw. These are around $50 plus $20 for additional filters. Each filter gets you about 300 gallons of clean water. Again, you could pee into these things if you had to and still get fresh water out of it. That's the power of good old black carbon filtration. And of course, the bigger Berkeys are better for more than just a bottle of clean water. It all just depends on your household size and how much water you want to filter. So there you have it. That's my off-grid water filtration tips and tricks. In a changing climate, water is only going to become more and more scarce from droughts and wildfires. Water is such a precious commodity that we should be conserving for our survival, and yet we still use it to fill the toilets to poop and pee in. Kinda seems like a waste, pun intended. Most conventional toilets use 5 to 7 gallons per flush. But what happens if your water is shut off in your home and you still need to flush? This was a very real situation my friends and family in Texas found themselves in, having to melt snow in order to flush the toilet. This takes a tremendous amount of water for every flush, and it also requires an energy source to melt the snow. All this water that's going into the toilet could be used to drink or cook with and help you survive longer. So here's my solution. This is a portable composting toilet. It fits inside a box and it takes only seconds to put together. Add in a pop-up pod and I can do my business anywhere. Once I'm done, I simply throw away my waste bag and collapse everything back into the box. 0 water required for this toilet, and it can go anywhere. Again, it's not the best, it's no bidet, but it gets the job done. I got this toilet online for about $50, and it's the ultimate freedom not to have to rely on porta potties or a messy gas station bathroom. Especially in this era of COVID-19, having your own toilet can keep you from getting sick or even dying by picking up a virus in a public restroom. Another small off-grid purchase with tremendous benefits. Now that you've saved all that water by not flushing it, what else can you do with it? How about do your laundry? We can't forget about clean clothes, another key component to sanitation and staying healthy. Here in Crestone, the closest laundromat is an hour away. I do at least one big laundromat run a month, but sometimes I need to do small loads in between to hold me over. So how do you do your laundry without electricity? Well, I have 2 methods, one low-tech and one high-tech. First is my cheap, low-tech, human-powered laundry bucket. What you'll need is your handy-dandy water jug, a 5-gallon bucket, and a laundry plunger. I picked this thing up online for about $20, but you could pretty much use any kind of stick or rod, just something to agitate your clothes without tearing them. Okay, I've grabbed a bunch of dirty rags here, throw them into my bucket, add my soap, water. You can also add hot water if you have a means of heating it, and then agitate. You'll want to do this for at least 10 to 15 minutes depending on how dirty everything is. You can do this in a bathtub or outside, weather permitting, but it doesn't get any simpler than this. It's no full-sized washing machine, but it gets the job done without any electricity or bending over much. Okay, once you've agitated for 15 minutes, you'll want to drain the dirty water. Here I found an old wicker picnic basket to use. Just pour your clothes in and wring them out, easy enough. Then you'll want to rinse and repeat as many times as you need. This method is time-consuming and requires a lot of elbow grease, but it gets the job done. Then to dry, just hang everything on a dry line the old-fashioned way. No electricity required, and your clothes will dry pretty quickly on a clear, sunny day. Bucket laundry is great as a last resort, but let's be honest, doing laundry by hand sucks. That's why I prefer my high-tech way of doing off-grid laundry. This is a portable 12-volt washing machine that my mother gifted me. Thanks, Mom! This little washing machine holds a small load of clothes and can be powered by a car or solar battery. Here I've connected it to my 100-watt solar panel and battery system. There's more on this in my previous video on off-grid solar power basics. Alright, now that I have my portable washing machine connected to my solar panel, I just need to add some dirty clothes to wash. One of the perks of living out in the boonies is you can do your laundry outside naked if you want to, and there's no one around to look at you funny. Okay, now that I have some dirty clothes to wash, I just add my laundry soap, water, turn it on, and just like that, I'm using sun power to get my clothes clean. Once the washing machine has run for 15 minutes, you can drain the dirty water. It comes out of this hose in the back. I use my handy dandy laundry bucket to drain it so I don't accidentally spill water on any of the electronics around. You'll want to rinse and repeat until everything is clean. Now that it's drained, I can transfer my clothes over to the spin cycle. You can't tell from the frame rate here on the camera, but this thing is super fast and gets my clothes surprisingly dry in only 5 minutes. For the bigger, heavier clothes, I still prefer to hang them on the line for fear of overloading the spin cycle. Amazing what you can do with nature and a little bit of ingenuity. So there you have it, that's my high-tech way of doing laundry off-grid using solar power. Nature provides everything you need to survive, you just need to capture it and store it. Whether it's water into jugs or sunlight into batteries. You don't want to just survive off-grid, you want to be able to thrive off-grid. And by harnessing the alchemy of nature, anything is possible. Once you have your stored water and sunlight, it's just a matter of directing it where you want it to go. Even if you want to make it rain on a sunny day, in a desert, in the middle of nowhere, during a drought, so you can take a hot shower outside while washing your laundry at the same time with the same water that rained on you weeks before. The confidence and independence is priceless, and I wish everyone on Earth could have that same freedom as well. We're living in the future, man! It's time to start acting like it. So next time you're caught in a storm or natural disaster, don't let Mother Nature keep you down. A little bit of time and money reprioritized right now could save you and your family's lives when disaster strikes. No matter where you are in the world, we are all vulnerable to this climate crisis. So be safe out there, turn around, don't drown, stay home, and stay prepared. So there you have it. I put it all out there for you. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Be sure to smash that like and survive button, and donations are always appreciated. Links are down below. I'm Jared Allen Ortega, coming to you from Off the Grid at the Cosmic Cloud Studios in Crestone, Colorado. Much love.